Peter Obi, Labour Party, arrived in court face to face to challenge INEC declaration of APC Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the just concluded presidential election. This is getting hot. I mean, it is getting hot. Now, Labour Party has asked the court to grant them access to the beavers, to all of INEC's electoral materials. We want to have access to beavers. We want to have access to hard copies. In fact, we want to perform forensic analysis of that your database. This result is not true. It is not correct. It is not right. And we must take action. Yes, do not celebrate yet. Do not celebrate the ascension of Bola Ahmed Tinubu into the throne of a president, into Aso Rock, as this is going down very hard. I mean, you are going to hear a big bombshell. Boom! Yes, you might be shocked when this land. Peter Obi is ready to go all the way. And not just that alone. Atiku, PDP, even though people don't want two of this party, APC and PDP. Atiku also has joined. He has prayed to the court to permit, to give them access to the same electoral materials. They want to do technical analysis, forensic analysis of all of the beavers that INEC claimed were used during the elections. Yes, this is getting serious. Now, this prompted some, action from INEC. The reaction is this: we cannot give Labour Party, PDP, access to the beavers because we need to perform some form of upgrade, some form of formatting, some form of configuration. We need to configure these beavers for the next election. Of course, you know that the governorship and the state legislator elections are coming up, and they said that they need time. And this prompted INEC to say, you know what, we are going to extend the date of the governorship and state House of Assembly elections. Now the court has given its order, but Labour Party said that the INEC chairman has refused to obey the court. Let us watch what happened at the court.
The courtroom is filled to capacity as the candidates of the Labour Party and some officials of the party walk into the Court of Appeal, venue of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, to witness proceedings of the day. After a 2-hour delay, the court delivered its ruling on the 3 applications before it. First, it's dismissed objections by the Labour Party and its presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, seeking to restrain INEC from reconfiguring the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, used for the presidential election. In dismissing the objections by Labour Party and Mr. Obi, the court held that the backup files on the server cannot be lost and that restraining INEC will affect the forthcoming governorship elections. In another ruling, the tribunal upheld its earlier order directing INEC to allow Mr. Obi and Labour Party to inspect all the electoral materials used in the conduct of the presidential election, as the tribunal assures the applicants that information contained on INEC's BVAS machines cannot be lost or tampered with. The tribunal, in another unanimous decision, ordered INEC to grant the president-elect, Senator Bola Tinubu, access to sensitive materials used for the presidential election. The 3-man panel, led by Justice Joseph Ike, said it was satisfied that there was merit in Senator Tinubu's request to have access to the electoral materials to enable him defend his election. Although counsels to INEC and Senator Tinubu were not available for comment, the lawyer to Mr. Obi believes the ruling of the tribunal is a step in the right direction.
INEC filed an application seeking to vary those orders, particularly as it relates to the server, BVAS machine. Luckily for us today, the court refused to vary that order. That order is sustained and remains. In another ruling, the court was of the view that given the back-end server, which INEC undertook to provide to secure those materials, that order is partly sustained. Those initial orders are partly sustained. But in all, the good news is that the initial order of the court made on the 3rd of March, permitting Peter Gregory Obi and Labour Party to inspect the facilities of INEC, including the BVAS machine, which they intend to use to prove their petition. Those orders are sustained.
As the tribunal prepares to commence sitting over the February 25 presidential election, the Labour Party and the All Progressives Congress are hopeful of victory.
So, in conclusion, will the beavers and all other electoral materials be handed over to qualified personnel from Labour Party and PDP so as to make sure that they investigate, they do analysis on the results, the votes that INEC claimed were the right, proper, accurate? That is what it is. Because right now, INEC is saying we need to seek for extension so as to have time to make sure that our beavers are well configured, they are formatted, and the dates are put right so as to have an each-free election. They say they do not want talks like before, claiming that some beavers did not function and some beavers lost network, some beavers, some of those ad hoc staffs could not even log in. INEC staffs could not log in into the beavers because they were getting some kind of errors and all of that. They said, now we want to make sure we put all of these things right so as to get accurate results. And Nigerians are beginning to query and question them. So if you knew that these beavers were not efficient or accurate, how then did you declare someone as the winner? Why did you declare Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of this election if you know that these beavers could have issues? Well, they said our beavers do not have issues. We just want to reconfigure it. We just want to reformat it. We just want to put it right. It's just servicing and nothing more. Our beavers operated as it should. And if there are some itches, which often will come when you are using electronics, you have electronics in your houses. At times you might just want to switch on your smartphone and it doesn't want to come up or something. He said that one is something that we cannot deal with. It is just something that, of course, we have spare beavers and this and that. They came up with so many stories of this and that. What INEC have said to Nigerians is that they are efficient, that they have done their job. There might be some itches right, left, and center, that none of those itches are really big. They are just minute. They are small, small things. And that does not equate to rigging. It does not equate to we didn't do our job. And we are talking about billions of naira that was earmarked for INEC to carry out this. They had years. They had, in fact, let us say they had about 3 years plus to efficiently manage. And now there are some presidential aspirants like Showore who said he tested his beavers. He looked at it and he realized that the beavers and INEC's database, their website, does not have the capacity to handle huge volume of data. Yeah. They said they cannot handle the huge volume of data. They said it is going to be very difficult that's what he said. He said it's going to be, and many others say it's going to be difficult. At the end of the day, well, we don't know if they expanded their database and what they did. They eventually came up with this presidential election. If they cannot handle state elections properly, how can they now handle that huge volume? You know, the constant barrage of data and information. Is that the reason why they had to turn down their system? Or they did that so as to rig the election? To come up with figures. Collect it together, had up, and eventually say this person won for 7 million, this one won for 6 million, this one won for 5 million, this one won for 8 million, coming up with results. People are worried. They say, no, we are not going to accept this. We are not going to accept this. In fact, you need to see a lot of obedience at the court. Yes, they are pushing for this. They said, we are going to see this through. Enough is enough. We don't want to smell PDP and APC. But then I will advise and suggest to a lot of people who are only looking at party, because right now the heat of the moment is Labour Party. Do not forget that there are criminals that will hide under this Labour Party. In your states, they will appear as senators and governors. When they get in there, you'll be shocked that they are the same thing. It's very important that we take note of this. I know people are voting for Peter Obi, not because he has presented himself under Labour Party. They are voting for him as a person. Take note of candidates that appear in your regions. It's very important. Don't forget to like and share this video. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new here. See you in the next video.